What's up, YouTube? WK Team DKF. Here trying to get some help with our theme duels. We're having a couple of little speed bumps, putting this together, making sure that it's fair and it runs smoothly. Before I get into that, give a shout out to PN Collector. I challenged him to make a Jack Atlas Turbo deck. Excuse me, minus the Vice Dragons, because apparently Sharks Fan 20 has all the Vice Dragons ever printed. Yeah, so yeah, and basically the whole point of an anime-based turbo deck, in my opinion, and the way I designed it, is to bust out their signature monsters as fast as possible. So in the Jack Atlas turbo deck, you want to power out or turbo out Red Dragon Archfiend, Exploder Wing Dragon, etc., etc., etc. Making sure that you're using a lot of his key monsters, like Dark Resonator and cards of that nature. Minus the Vice Dragon, of course, because Sharks Fan 20. But yeah, almost have this blinged out, as you can see. Blah, blah, blah. Highest rate of everything except for Foolish, so I need a Super Foolish. I guess I can show my trade binder real quick, see if anybody can hook me up. But, yeah. Yeah, I really don't keep my binder full. It, like, gets full, then it gets depleted, then it gets full. Because I trade off everything. Contrary to popular belief, I don't just try to rip people in trade, so I can just have this awesome trade binder. That's Duels Pack Yuki Mirror Force. I try to be even and fair, and I allow people to come to me with the offer. They offer and I like the offer, then we trade. If they ask me for a price, I'll tell them eBay. And then when they come back to me, if that's the price they found and it sounds reasonable, then that's the price we settle on. Nothing more, nothing less. Yep, and that's it. Some trade binders kind of wrecked. Because again, I don't really focus on my trades. Only thing I really care about, is keeping my collection binder up. I got my Turbo Pack stuff, first edition stuff, highest rarity, all first edition ultimates, first edition stuff, freaking first ed, lava golems. So yeah, everything in here is like highest rarity, first ed mint, all that. Ulti, first eds, mints, all that. So that's what my focus is. I'm really not trying to have this amazing trade binder, because all I do is trade it or sell it anyway, and then try to fill that up, and then make decks and sell decks. But yeah, but the problem that I'm having is with the rules and deck construction. And I'll start with a deck that I just started on. Sacred deck focused on Sacred Phoenix Nexus, so that's going to be the theme of the deck, right? Now, according to my rules now, you have to use, themed cards. But the problem we're having is the only thing that goes Sacred Phoenix Nexus is Hand of Nexus. And extension of that is Apprentice Magician. However, Marauding Captain facilitates Sacred Phoenix Nexus by being able to pull that out fast. This is not themed to either Spellcasters or Winged Beast, which both of these cards are. However, it facilitates in helping that effect go off. But is this too generic? Because it can also be used against my opponent as monster removal. Now, what I initially thought was when generic cards are used, they have to be used at a life point cost. So, is this too generic? Now, I would say that cards like Smashing Ground, Deep Prison, Sakuretsu Armor, Trap Hole, those cards are generic. They don't facilitate anything in the deck or any kind of deck types per se. So, but what I need is a consistent way of getting the rules across so that, the deck construction is uniform and there's no room for questions. Because at the car shop this weekend, had a couple duels with themed decks, and apparently aliens are overpowered because they have everything. And you laugh about that, but I mean, they have, here's 3 Smashing Grounds here, virtually three reusable Monster Reborns, 2 Foolish Barrels on crack. This facilitates Monster Reborns and Foolish Burials, or not, or Smashing Grounds. 2 more temporary Monster Reborns, or Swing Memories. 3 Icarus Attacks, 2 Mirror Forces, a Ring of Destruction, 2 Crush Cards, a freaking permanent brain control, and 2 temporary brain controls. And then in this format with people using so many face-up continuous cards like A-Forces and field spells and whatnot, this thing is godly. So we need to make a way so that other decks can prosper, while at the same time enforcing the sticking to the theme rule. And so, I run into this problem. It's Sanctuary of the Sky, too generic for Cloudians. Almost all the monsters are fairies, except for these guys. They're fiends, and these are dragons. Oh no, he's a fairy. Crap. But yeah, fiend. They're fiends. So, this, in my opinion, it facilitates the archetype because these guys can't be destroyed in battle. These guys can't be destroyed in battle. Well, this can, but these guys can't. And you take no battle damage, so I feel those kind of go hand in hand. And I'm still working on the rest of the build. And then I run into this other problem with Morphtronics. It's Cyber Valley, too generic. We're running machine duplication because it facilitates cell phone. And, Cyber Valley kind of goes into running machine dupe. You run a machine dupe, so why not run that? That helps you draw into your equips. But speaking of equips, we'd also like to run Hidden Armory, or Arms Hole, whatever, to also dig for the equips. And then I run to the problem that one of the rules we set out when starting this was, if your theme has a card that can do what you're looking to do, you have to use the themed card. And Power Tool Dragon is a themed card that does what Arms Hole would do. So, if we're running that, could we also run this? And I don't want this to be entirely subjective because, that's no way to do the format, because then we get all hunkered down with, well, that's not fair, that's not fair. And then, like my final example, koa'ki, Legendary Jiu-Jitsu Master. Is that too generic? We're running everything else that's theme related. The armor, and we got all that. But, Jiu-Jitsu Master is a rock, so it facilitates him. But, is that it? Or should I be running something else? And the whole point is we want to make the decks consistent and fun and competitive for this format that we're using. But at the same time, we don't want it to revert to, well, Smashing Ground, it's at 3, so why can't we use Smashing Ground? Well, the archetype I chose doesn't have any cards that do what Smashing Ground does. So why can't I use Smashing Ground? Why can't I use Trap Hole? Why can't I use Deep Prison? Like, for instance, Warriors do not necessarily have a Heavy Storm, or MST. So why could they not use Nobleman of Extermination? It's a generic card, but it's at 3, and it's not commonly used. My argument is, well, they have Green Kappa, and they have Trap Master. And with the Warriors and Machines, those archetype rely heavily on monster effects. They have, instead of Smashing Ground, they have Exile Force, or they rely on overpowering the opponent. So they have A-Forces and all these warrior equips, Fusion Murasame Blade, or whatever it's called, to power over opponent's monsters. So that's pretty much my take on that. So if you guys would like to, please comment down below and let me know what kind of ideas and rules we should set forth so we can get this going. Also be sure to hit up my blog. We got part of that discussion continuing on the blog. So if you'd like to leave comments there, please do. And download my toolbar. This is Dub K Dad, Team DKF, and I'm out.